Dear friends in the Dhamma, this is my Dhamma talk about the Bhojjhangas, or the 7 factors of enlightenment. Now, what are the 7? Sati, or mindfulness, is the first one. Vijaya, or Dhamma Vijaya, investigation. Virya, energy. Piti, joy. Passaddhi, calm. Samadhi, concentration. And the last one, Upekkha, or equanimity. In the Bhojjhanga Sutra, we get the details about these Bhojjhangas and also about the Bhojjhanga meditation. Now, coming back to the term Bhojjhanga, it comes from the word bodhi, and anga. So bodhi means enlightenment and anga means factors or steps. So meaning the 7 steps or the factors of enlightenment. The monk who cultivates and makes much of the 7 factors of enlightenment inclines and is close to Nibbana, according to the Buddha. Once the Venerable Mahakashyapa was very sick and the Buddha came to see him, so he inquired, is the sickness going down? Is the pain subsiding? Are you feeling better already? The Mahakashyapa says, no, it's getting worse, the pain is getting stronger, the disease is not going down, it's getting worse. So the Buddha started preaching this Bhojjhanga Sutta, and after the Venerable Mahakashyapa was listening very carefully to the Buddha's discourse on the Bhojjhangas, he got cured completely. He got up, thanked the Buddha and walked away. Showing that this Bhojjhanga Sutta can not only beautify and cure the mind, but it can also cure the body or can cure you from bodily diseases. So the cause of all pain and suffering is ignorance. Everybody knows that. But if we just know this intellectually, that alone will not free our mind. So we have to see the suffering or the ignorance on an experiential level. Asati and asampajanya is also often called bring us away from the Dhamma. So drifting away from the true Dhamma. Asati means unmindfulness, and asampajanya means without wisdom or without understanding. Now, starting with these 7 factors of enlightenment, the first one is called sati, or mindfulness. But the word sati has 2 meanings. One is mindfulness and the other is remembering. And if we do this Bhojjhanga meditation, it means more like remembering. But mindfulness, of course, you also need for any kind of meditation. Without mindfulness, there would be no meditation around. You need mindfulness or watchfulness in order to progress towards enlightenment. So we said the second meaning of sati is remembering, and here when we do the Satta Bhojjhanga meditation, we remember a piece of the Dhamma. So we remember a short saying or a short truth of the Dhamma, and we reflect on it. So the second one is Dhamma Vijaya, or reflection. So we remember a piece of the Dhamma, we start reflecting on it. It's a sharp analytical knowledge of understanding the true nature of all things. It is seeing things as they really are, seeing things in their proper perspective. So reflection, Buddhism does not demand blind faith from the followers. So we don't have blind faith, but we develop faith through experience. So we reflect on the Dhamma, and once we realize it is working, it is helping me in my day-to-day life, then we take it as a truth and we develop experiential faith in it. According to the dictionary, religion is a belief in or the worship of a god or gods, or the service and worship of God or the supernatural. And according to this definition, Buddhism is not a religion, it is more like a science or more like a technique to free your mind from all defilements. Believe nothing, no matter where you read it or who said it, not even if I have said it, unless it agrees with your own reason and your own common sense, by the Buddha. This, of course, was said in the famous Kalama Sutra, where the Buddha says there is no blind belief. Try to understand every part of this teaching, use it for your day-to-day life, and only if you see it's working for you, then take it as the Dhamma. The third one is called Vidya or energy. It is a mental property, so Cetasika, it's a mental energy which comes up here at this third stage of the Bhojjhangas. Prince Siddhartha's life, of course, was full of Vidya or energy. We could see this during the period when he did the Atthakilamathana Yoga, which were the 6 years of self-modification, where he hardly ate anything. He was sitting day and night in meditation, and he came very close to death. So hard was his will or his energy. Later, of course, he realized this is the wrong path to enlightenment, and he started with a different way of meditation. Also, it should be pointed out that energy and concentration should be always well balanced. If you have too much energy, it leads to restlessness, and if you have too much concentration, it leads to laziness. The third Bhojjhanga is Priti or rapture or bliss. So this too is a mental property, and it is a quality which goes through your whole body and mind. So whenever we experience this Priti, it is very pleasant, very enjoyable experience, but it is just a stage on the way to enlightenment. Contentment is a characteristic of a real happy person, so we need contentment with our life in order to experience this bliss in meditation. So whenever we are not happy with our life, we are not contented with what we have, we will also not experience this Priti or this bliss fully in our meditation. The next one is called Passaddhi, calm or tranquility. Passaddhi is twofold. It's the Kaya Passaddhi, means the body is calming down, and also the mental property, the mind is calming down. So Passaddhi is compared to the happy experience of a weary walker who sits down under a tree in the shade, or the cooling of a hot place by the rain. Also, Passaddhi is also experienced in jhana. First we experience Priti Sukha, and then the Priti Sukha is coming down, and we experience Passaddhi or equanimity. Hard it is to tranquilize the mind by the Buddha. The mind is always restless, always searching for some new experiences. So we have to retrain our mind in our meditation to focus on one point, to be aware of what is going on in our body and mind. And above all, we have to train the mind not to react to any impression from the six senses. So what we do in meditation, we tame our wild mind. So begin a practice of mindfulness, train yourself to go beyond the thought process and understand the workings of your mind. That is what the Buddha did in order to become enlightened. In order to become a Buddha, he trained his mind not to grasp anything, to stay at one object, and that led to his full enlightenment. Humility does not mean you think less of yourself, it means you think of yourself less. So you have less thinking about anything once you make progress. And humility is one of the great characteristics of a developed person. So whenever somebody is enlightened or on a stage of enlightenment, a holy person, a meditation master, there are usually two signs. One is equanimity and the other one is humility. So it is only when the mind is tranquilized and is kept to the right road of orderly process that it becomes useful for the individual possessor of it and for society. A disorderly mind is a liability, both to the owner of it and for others. So self-control is a very important thing we need for our meditation. If somebody has no self-control, not even the Buddha could help him to become enlightened. A man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. The sixth one is called Samadhi, or concentration. It is only the tranquilized mind that can easily concentrate on the subject of meditation. The calm, concentrated mind sees things as they really are. The unified mind brings the 5 hindrances under control. So you need concentration in order to keep the mind at one object, and also you need concentration in order to overcome the 5 hindrances of meditation. Also, there's a slight difference between Samma Samadhi and Samadhi. So let's say a cat is catching a mouse or an insect, it also is very concentrated, but the concentration is not directed towards liberation. Samma Samadhi means right concentration, so you use it for developing your mind and for freeing your mind from all defilements. So concentration is the intensified steadiness of the mind. Without concentration, there would be no enlightenment. And as we mentioned before, also without concentration, you would not be able to overcome the 5 hindrances, which are kama chanda, or sensual desire, yabada, ill will, tinamita, or laziness, uddhacca, kukucca, restlessness and worry, and the last one is vicikicca, or doubt in the teaching or in the meditation. The 7th one is upekkha, or equanimity. In the Abhidhamma, upekkha is indicated by the term tatra maccattata, neutrality. So equanimity is the result of a calm, concentrated mind. It is hard indeed to be undisturbed when touched by the troubles of life. But the man who cultivates this difficult quality of equanimity is not upset about anything anymore. The elephant in the living room, truly the good give up longing for everything. The good brattle not with thoughts of craving, touched by happiness or pain. The wise show neither elation nor depression. So equanimity means whatever happens in your life, you're not shaken. You're not shaken either this way or the other way. So understanding the workings of the law of karma is also necessary in order to have real equanimity. So if you don't understand the law of karma, at least in its basic workings, you will not be able to have unshakable equanimity in your life. Only with the understanding of the law of karma, I can understand why things are happening. And if bad things happen in my life, I know the reason for it, and I do not get upset because I know what I have to do is to change my present moment in order to get a happy future. So this Saddha Bhojjhanga, they can be practiced as a meditation. So if you want to get into the Saddha Bhojjhanga, usually you start remembering a part of the Dhamma. So you use a short phrase of the Dhamma, you reflect on it, that is Dhamma Vicaya, or investigation. So only the first 2, Sati and Dhamma Vicaya, you do purposely or intentionally. You remember a piece of the Dhamma and you reflect on it, or you investigate it. That leads to virya, or energy, coming up in your body and mind, leading to piti, or joy, coming up in your mind, and passaddhi, mind is calming down, leading to samadhi, or strong concentration, and then leading to upekkha, or equanimity. So meditation, you could use a phrase like this: nothing is worth grasping. So you just remember this phrase, you reflect on it mentally, and it will guide you through these 7 stages of enlightenment. No one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path by the Buddha. So remembering the saints of other days and recollecting how it was they lived and how they attained enlightenment. Now nowadays it may be difficult to live exactly as the Buddha did or the holy people in the past did, but we can still copy many things from the holy people and use whatever we can in our day-to-day life in order to use this technique of meditation. Also we can practice this Bhojjhanga meditation. You practice it often and you practice it well enough, it will purify your mind and free your mind from all defilements. So I hope that all of you will make quick progress in their meditation. May you all reach stages of awakening. Etang santang etang banitang yadidang sappasankara samado sabupati padinisakko tanhakkayo virago nirodo nibbana.